on the front lines.
Indeed. Hello friends and welcome to quarterfinal number 4 in Stobbie's Viewer League 2. This is the match of Snow White and his 6 Chorfs, which is ILoggiczz on his Chaos Dwarfs, and totally rat-arsed coach The1Exile. This is for the final spot in the semi-finals. With me again is Martin. How you bud? You right? Yeah. So you were just saying we noticed someone spinning.
Yeah, apparently the Reds got a star player with their endorsements.
Apparently.
And, he's called Fence.
He's called what?
He's called Fence.
Fence. Well, I haven't seen too much usefulness out of those pieces before, but I would be delighted if you can knock out and kill that Minotaur on the first hit.
Well, actually, if the Chorfs would go for the typical the Chaos Dwarfs screen, then the Wrecking Ball would actually be really effective because it's, I think, 1 to 8 chance to spin in any direction. And if the Chorfs would be screening with like 3 people in front of the ball, that would be a 3/8 chance to actually hit a Chorf with that.
Well, yeah, because the Wrecking Ball actually does particularly well against high AV units. Good. Fez. Yep, Fez, like a hat. 7 strength, interesting.
Yeah, but for that they can't control where they're going.
Yes, so for those of you who aren't familiar with Ball and Chain, let me just read the description for you. It's only take half an hour. Players armed with a ball and chain can only take move actions, and each square is randomly chosen. All move point must be used. No dodge roll is required if you leave a tackle zone. If during his move action he would move into an occupied square, then the player will throw a block following normal blocking rules against whoever is in that square, friend or foe. It ignores foul appearance. The player must follow up if they push back another player. Prone or stunned players in an occupied square are pushed back, and an armor roll is made to see if they are injured. If the player is ever knocked down or placed prone, roll immediately for injury. Stunned results are always treated as KO'd. This player may use the grab skill, but may never use the diving, tackle, frenzy, kickoff, return, leap, pass, block, or shadowing skills.
Apparently his Fez is also ugly. That means that even if the Chorfs would run a block against him, they first need to succeed a roll which they need to get a 2 or above. And if not, they can't attack him.
Disturbing presence.
Yeah.
And foul appearance. Whoa. 1d6 when they pass, intercepts, or catch. So first, if they want to block him, they have to get past foul appearance. And if they want to do anything, they have to get past disturbing presence.
An interesting play from the Reds here. Apparently, he wants to take his chances of maybe getting one of the Chorfs off the field at a fast pace.
This is the Rat's drive, isn't it?
I can't actually see, but the Chorfs were first to place their pieces, so...
Yeah, so it must be the Rat's drive. There's no other reason that the Chorfs wouldn't be setting up like this in offense. I really want to see this Wrecking Ball do work.
And the Chorfs get another reroll. Ooh, that's...
Interesting kickoff. Thrower. Oof.
But that's a good bounce for the Reds.
It is.
If they manage to pick it up and then make a semi-screen, they can potentially 2-turn touchdown here.
Although keeping those Chorfs off them on the second turn would be very difficult, especially that Centaur with block. Ugh.
If they actually manage to get it to pick it up, pass it to one of the gutter runners, and then just screen the Chorfs and the Centaur good enough away that they can't immediately get to the ball carrier, he can really, well, he can make the 2-turn touchdown if he's lucky.
Yeah. That Wrecking Ball is so interesting. Like, it would have been so cool if he could have hit the other... It could have hit Sneezy, but as we saw there, moving him around at all is completely random.
And the
first reroll has to get burnt on turn 1 on a 83% fail. Nuffle, you're such a bastard.
And
And a double one! Oh, come
But
on!
he catch it.
Yeah, but
he-
that's not that great. Oh, oh man.
Could he maybe? No, he would need a few more skills for that, I think. If somehow the thrower actually manages to still be on the ball, he could run up with the gutter runner and try to long bomb it.
Yeah, but the chance of him still keeping hands on that ball, it pays off. Is that worth a reroll, I wonder, to get the ball off him? But
Yeah,
potentially...
and both down, and nothing happens.
Nice. Come on, Exile. Come on, the rats. We're just cheering for the underdogs here.
No, for the rest, it's basically they have nothing to lose and everything to gain. If they manage to kick out one of the two best teams in this league,
It'll be the upset of the whole league.
yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, it's only in quotation marks alignment, but still the thirds.
That was always the issue I had when playing Skaven. Just keeping your linemen alive.
I mean,
So hard.
ask me about keeping my troll alive in our friendly match.
Good point there, Budget Varnus. The thrower could just hand off to the gutter on a crunk. And the flank is open, but
Actually,
getting into the half of the Chorfs, into their half, that is
now
terrifying.
That one of the bull centaurs moved up on the left side. The two gutter runners on the right, if you look from the point of view from the Chorfs, could actually make it pretty far.
The thing is, they would really have. The key thing would be to get away from the Chaos Dwarf blocker. And now the
actually
blockers
they
are moving
can.
forward because
They
the
actually
blockers have
can.
moved forward. Is that a crucial mistake? Well, we'll have to see. I'm assuming
Does he
ILoggiczz knows what he's
try-
doing.
Does he try to get the star player off the field?
It seems like he's going for it. It's a 7 strength player.
But it's still random. If he doesn't have contact with any of his species, that wouldn't be an issue. And he
Foul
failed
appearance.
the roll!
And now the
And
left
now-
flank is wide open.
Also, the wrecking ball now could potentially hit, injure, or even kill the bull centaur that is standing next to him.
But, man, is it worth it though? Personally, I wouldn't have. The reasoning being that I would expect the rats to look to go for a quick touchdown, which would get Fez sent off anyway, isn't he? Because he's a secret weapon.
Well, depending. Do they have... no, they
bribe.
actually don't have bribes.
No bribe. Unbelievably, now it's actually in Exile's interest to maybe not score as quick as possible. Because now he can maybe get more use out of the star player.
Yeah, the wrecking ball now has a 75% chance of hitting one of the pieces of the shores.
So Exile should, I think, use his wrecking ball here now. Instead of going for the ball play now. I mean, let's just imagine what happens here. Let's say the wrecking ball knocks down the bull centaur and one or two of the hobgoblins. That gutter runner throws or hands off to one of the other ones. They run very far up the pitch. Maybe only the hobgoblins can catch them. We're looking at a potential touchdown here.
Only the hobgoblins can catch them. The shores have exactly... Yeah, even with the going for it. If he
They can't catch.
gets the gutter runner on the line and goes for the going for it, only the hobgoblins, or only even one of the hobgoblins can actually catch up.
And if you get the ball carrier, if you use Melted as the ball carrier, and then you have Hammered screening, you can stop the hobgoblins or the centaur getting there. And the gutter runner using screen has dodge and tackle. Okay, let's see. Come on, come on. I want to see some destruction here. Come on, these pushers.
And
Final one? Let's
Yes.
get one more.
no!
Oh, boo.
Oh!
Boo. Oh.
It's just a push.
That doesn't help though. That helps the bull centaur a lot.
Yeah, now actually the bull centaur can catch up to the gutter runners. So maybe this was the wrong play to go for that first. Before running the
Well,
ball.
I mean, hindsight is 20/20, isn't it? I mean, had that wrecking ball injured, knocked down, and or killed any of those pieces, then it would have been absolutely the right thing to do.
It would also be interesting to know if killing a star player gives you any more SPP than normally.
I don't think it does. You get regular SPP. The Exile clearly thinking very carefully about what he's doing here, but he's running out of time. We've got 51 seconds and counting. I think he's probably considering whether to break or not on that left flank. I think he should.
Now the problem is though that since the Wrecking Ball doesn't have a tackle zone, or does it? Didn't you read that it doesn't have a tackle zone? No.
Ball and chain does have a tackle zone as far as I know. Short pass. Oh, come on! These dice. Man, that is super disappointing.
Now needs to screen both the Hobgoblin and actually all of the two Hobgoblins and the Bull Centaur.
The Bull Centaur, of course, being the main priority because the Hobgoblins will have dodge and block disadvantage if they're trying to hit those gutter runners. He just has to run those gutter runners up now. 7 seconds. What's going on? Come on. I worry that something's going wrong here for the Exile. Come on, run hammered up and screen. I wonder if there's some technical issues happening here because badly out of time here now. His guard piece is also 1 second. Move the other gutter runner away.
Actually, moving so close to the outside the lines of the field could be fatal for him.
He does have sidestep on that piece though.
Yeah, that's right.
Honestly, I think blodge and sidestep seems to me to be statistically the three best skills to get on a ball carrier. After that, if you give him safe hands, then strip ball won't work against him. So sidestep would only would only fail to prevent surfing if he's completely surrounded. But yeah, so 95% of the time, sidestep prevents surfing. I did briefly earlier today think of making like a joke team where, regardless of which race it is, but imagine, let's say Amazons for example, or Norse, you give them every single one of your pieces, you give them all sidestep. Just to be able to mess around with your opponent in terms of, you know, where everyone gets pushed.
Well, the question now is if the dice with the block against the gutter runner with the ball is again in his favor, like with his thrower.
Yeah, so blodge, sidestep, sure hands, fend. I'm pretty sure in that scenario you have to roll a pow.
Oh my god!
He's looking for the power. Sidestep, dodge, touchdown.
He's getting the first touchdown if he's really lucky right now.
Exile is doing it. Come on, the rats. Hashtag Skaven bullshit.
God,
it's just two dodges here,
upset,
and he's.
Yeah. He can.
Look, let's just bear in mind, as much as we want the upset, it's just a question of who's going to play against Judvanus in the final then, because I'm pretty sure. So I'll be playing either the winner of this or Judvanus in the semi-finals, and there's no sequence of events in which my High Elves beat his Norsemen. That's just not going to happen.
If ILoggiczz goes now for the dodge with the Hobgoblin with Magic Mirror, he actually could maybe trap the gutter runner in the corner. He would need to make multiple high-level dodges.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Both down. Oh my god, this is huge! This is huge! Okay, no long-term effect.
Long-term,
and he uses his APO and substitutes. Okay.
Now everything that is Wrecking Ball
everything just changed. Everything just changed.
Everything that Wrecking Ball now kills or injures will be off the field.
Will stay dead. What a crazy game. I mean, The Exile has had to burn both his rerolls on bullshit dice on his first 2 turns, and yet somehow he's got the Minotaur and a Hobgoblin off the field.
Now
and
the question is if you go for the touchdown right away or if you try to block. Because one mistake in blocking would actually fuck him over so much. He has only his 1 reroll left. And he might maybe needs it for dodging away and going for the touchdown.
So at this point, I don't know if you even throw any dice. Do you just straight go for the touchdown? I mean, yes, Melted. Go on, my son. Run it in. Run it in.
He still has movement left.
6 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those hobgoblins and the hobgoblins have to go for it to catch him. I think just run it in.
If he goes for 2 going for it along the field, even the bull centaur can't touch him anymore.
5, 6, 7, 8.
If he's taking the 2 going for it to the side and make it, the bull centaur can't touch him anymore.
Do it. Do it. Big time plays make big time plays. Come on. The underdog exile. Come on.
Ooh. This is exciting.
This is so exciting. Yeah, crazy. It's too early to hope that we can have some crazy result like a huge upset here.
The gutter runner is safe for one more turn.
Can I just point something out? If Nuffle has a sense of humor, Exile manages to knock out ILoggiczz, and then Dwarfs somehow loses against Honor. We could have neither of the top 2 in the grand final.
Maybe even beat the Chaos Dwarfs. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, of the other teams, my best chance is to beat the humans. All this tackle on the Chorfs is terrifying. And then the Norse.
Do High Elves have high AV?
That's like I was going to say. At least the Yeti won't. Claw will do nothing. Because Claw is on armor of 9 and above. Or is it 8 and above? It's 9 and above.
Maybe if Nuffle thinks you should be not only in the quarterfinals but also in the finals, you actually manage to squeeze out a win against the Norsemen, and both Chaos Dwarfs and Norsemen will be out.
That would be amazing. Yeah, so Claw treats everything as AV7. Well then, at least then Claw would do nothing against my catches. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have a lot of Blood Bowl to go in this game, and the Chorfs are still the favourites.
Like looking at Happy, somebody should tick off the coach, or not the coach, the referee, that he has a knife in his mouth.
9 seconds. What's happening? There's a lot of very careful consideration here. I worry that there's some technical issues here for Exile, whether it's bad internet or something, because this is now the 2nd turn in a row where he hasn't used all his pieces because of time running out.
Maybe he is carefully considering all his options.
Yeah, but you have to, you cannot have that happen. You can't have 2 turns in a row. You got pieces left in contact now.
I mean, I would guess that if there is something wrong, he would probably say tell it to ILoggiczz.
Yeah, he'd be saying so. KO for Hammered. Do we have a Bloodwiser Babe? See, this is one thing that I have noticed. The way that the money was spent. I would have thought that at least one Bloodwiser Babe would have been absolutely worth its weight in gold against this punch-heavy Chorf team.
One fan factor advantage, though.
The Bull Centaur can sprint, though, so he can still make a block here, can't he?
He actually used all his sprint. He used 3 going for it to go.
Now it's a 4 AV dodge away for Melted, so he'd be super unlucky if that failed. Oh God, injured.
For me, the red just looked into the camera as the boss from behind wind up his sucker punch. Ooh.
That's next game. Oof.
Well, Mrs. Next Game isn't that important right now. But
uses the APO.
Nothing happens.
I agree with Jadvanis. For me, I would have been very happy with Wandering APO, Wizard, maybe a Bloodweiser Babe if I had to dip into my own money. I mean, the star player was high risk, high reward, but it hasn't paid off so far.
Well, it made the Chorfs go all on attack on him, so that he could actually run around the side.
It has facilitated this move here. And now Chorfs are just doing Chorf things by just punching things. Disgusting things.
I think I actually played with my Orcs against the Chorfs, either a draw or just lost 1-0 to them, so that was pretty lucky for me.
Yeah, you met them fairly early on, didn't you?
No, actually, I think I met them in one of the last matches. Once I had my fourth. Whoa, okay, that's
down he goes.
Once I had my quote-unquote fifth Black Orc back.
So just looking at some of the commentary here, I agree with the comments about the APO usage. The only argument you can make in favor for using the APO there is that that's the lineman that has kickoff, but I think you have a hard time justifying kickoff being that valuable when you need the APO to keep gutter runners alive and on the field.
Well, yeah. The question is if he now goes for the touchdown right away, or if
I think he has
tries to go for something else. Doesn't the star player is just spinning around in the middle of the field? He is useless.
Yeah, the star player is useless. He's got no blocks he can make.
Maybe with one of the lying down gutter runners, he could eventually blitz the Chaos Dwarf that is in touch with the thrower, if he manages to get either him up and dodge away, or with the Stormworm that lies there.
Yeah.
Oh, he actually goes
runs it in.
Okay,
good.
Runs it in.
So I like that. That's what I would have done as well. I'd be looking at the turns. Look, we've only spent 4 turns there, so it's not impossible. Both KO guys wake up. Very nice for the rats. It's not impossible.
I'm actually sad that there are only 3 different cheerleaders. I want to see
Skaven cheerleaders. Undead cheerleaders, zombie cheerleaders. Yes. Zombie cheerleaders.
I mean, look at the art for the
Orc cheerleaders.
For the vampire counts. If you go for vampire count cheerleaders or necromantic cheerleaders, you could have the what's it called, Baroque-esque ladies in their dresses. Maybe lift one of their skirts up so you can see their ankles.
I do declare your ankle is exposed.
Oh my.
Oh my. What a whore. Exposing her ankle. I would like to see elf, like high elf cheerleaders. That would look interesting. Or Khemri cheerleaders. Just skeletons.
I mean, they would just walk like the Egyptian.
Or little halfling cheerleaders, goblin cheerleaders.
Ogre cheerleaders, just one ogre
They'll just
snotlings through the...
No, well, the cheerleaders would look hilarious, like if they had like little nipple tassels, and then they just stand there drooling stupidly.
Lizardman cheerleaders with either the skinks or maybe even the sauruses.
Yeah.
Or maybe one of the great slans like Master Mundi is just sitting on his floating throne. Yay.
Chaos cheerleaders with extra tentacles. Extra chesticles, I think you mean.
Yeah. Again, I would love for the next Blood Bowl game, or maybe for DLC even now, to add for each different Chaos God a different...
Yeah, I agree. Or I would love to see, well, I shouldn't say this, Chaos Elves. But yeah, that would be so hard to balance. I mean, luckily the makers of Blood Bowl don't really give a shit about balance.
I think they would be either like Dark Elves with mutation access, or like normal Elves with mutation access.
Because just think of like a dark elf team with some slightly tweaked. Maybe you make them a touch slower, and you give them mutation access. So, man, can you imagine a witch elf with claw?
Claw, horns, tentacles.
Scary.
Okay, that could maybe be a touchback if the ball bounces. Not good.
This is a kickoff event, so I think he has the kick skill, so he has to choose the one that's off the field, I think.
The Chorfs.
Nice.
Formation.
Perfect defense for rat. The rats get formation.
Well, where's the ball? The ball's still in the air. Yeah, the ball is midair. I can already see blood on the ball in midair.
Is this the regular ball or is this the severed head?
It's the regular ball, I think.
So,
But we are also in the Camry arena. Which of the two teams did actually choose the desert? Is now the question.
which of the two teams chose the desert? What do you mean?
We are in the.
Whose home team is it? I would imagine Chorfs. Chorfs would have taken the desert. I would imagine. I can't imagine, because the rats would have taken Underworld, surely.
The Chorfs could have also taken the wastelands.
But David is trying to make a good point. A witch elf with claw was just a demonette.
Yeah, this would actually make sense.
Yeah, it would make total sense.
If you actually would maybe crank down the armor value of all the dark elf pieces,
Down to 7.
like, yeah, and give them, like, the witch elves have even less armor value, but now they have claw, and they are
but the witch elves already have 7 AV. You couldn't give them 6. That wouldn't be worth it. I mean, the thing is, even if you just straight up give them access to mutations, that's fine. And if I look at the skill set on a witch elf,
well, maybe
block is mandatory. You wouldn't take claw before You wouldn't take claw before block.
Well, maybe they cost more, but they already have claw.
Or you could give something interesting, some sort of mechanic like the vampires have, where there's a chance that they go crazy and kill or hurt one of their own players.
Well, that's chaos for you. On that note, though, I think claw would be most likely for the demoness of corn.
Oof. Big surf here. Hate to see this. This is probably the 3rd time we've seen the Exile
And nothing
expose his pieces to surfing. You're a slow learner, my friend.
Well, the difference for the 4 different Chaos Gods would be also really interesting, because Slanesh would be all over tentacles, and the Parasite Tail, and all this shit. Khorne would be the bash-heavy team, because Khorne is the deity of war, literally.
Oh, big foul coming up.
And does he actually get it? Just a KO.
KO.
Not off the field.
Slanesh would be... What would Slanesh have? He would have the tentacles, wouldn't he?
Yeah, Slanesh is the tentacle one because of lust and everything. Tzeentch would probably be even more elf bullshit because they are the schemers, so...
Hypnotic Gaze, as Jadwana's point, that would be a good fit.
Maybe also Dirty Player, because of the schemes, everything falls into place.
But I feel like the Hypnotic Gaze would make more sense for a Tzeentch themed team. And what have we covered? So far we've covered... Okay, so Nurgle is just Nurgle. That's the Chaos... Yeah. Khorne is the bash heavy team.
Yeah.
Tzeentch is the Hypnotic Gaze team. Slanesh is the Tentacle team.
Yeah, so, coincidentally, they would also counter each other quite well out, because if Tzeentch is the Hypnotic Gaze and Dodge heavy team, the Tentacles and Parental Tails of Slanesh would make their life harder, while the bash heavy team of Khorne would kick the ever-loving shit out of the Tzeentch.
True. Just take a moment to appreciate how wonderful the Warhammer lore is. Of all the franchises and games, I think Warhammer has some of the best lore. makes me sad when you see the fact that they're quite happy to haul out the game license to a lot of companies that make some pretty terrible games over the years. But
actually, I think there is now a Diablo-esque Warhammer game out that actually got the started as a fan project and then got the allowance from Games Workshop.
There was one for a while. Now I'm thinking of there was an MMO one that wasn't too good. Of all of the Warhammer I've played that I've enjoyed the most, I'll probably say Dawn of War. Dawn of War 1 and 2 was my favorite. Absolutely loved it. Dawn of War 2 was so great, and for what it was at the time, it's wonderful.
Vermintide 2 is also pretty fun because me and my friends had a few interesting things, like a Chaos Warrior just looking up at me while I would stand on I think it was a wooden beam, and he just stood underneath me and looked up, just waiting.
Well, let's focus on this game now. Let's take a look here. We got 4 turns for the rats and 4 for the Chaos. Chaos have possession. I think ILoggiczz will be very disappointed if he doesn't manage to turn this into a touchdown.
Well, tackling the ball away with the Skaven is near impossible because the Bull Centaurs also have, 4 strength.
And sure hands. So you'd need to get a POW. The only way to get the ball off that thing is POW. Do we have a strip ball on one of these rats? I recall seeing strip ball. Looks like that's a negative. There's no strip ball. Easy dodge.
The only real way Exile, actually, it will be really difficult for ILoggiczz to go for a touchdown, because with the Skaven being so dodgy, he can just retreat one tile at a time and keep out of bashing zone.
Just a body, just a line of rats. Scorched earth approach.
But I think what he's now doing is a mistake, because he leaves his left flank completely open. And with a blitz from the Bull Centaur, he can just push away the red and then run up the left side and get a scream from the Chaos Dwarfs.
The thing is now, ILoggiczz looking good here because he could form a screen on either side here. He's got 3 Chaos Dwarfs on the right, and he's got a Chaos Dwarf and 2 Hobgoblins on the left. KO, more rats getting off the field.
Yeah, he can.
I like this. This is good.
Yeah, the Bull Centaur can just run up, and the Chaos Dwarfs can screen for him. Maybe even go to the Gutter Runners and hold them in place.
Although, let's not overlook the fact that the Chorfs do actually need to burn a bit of time here, because if you give rats anything more than 1 turn, you're in danger of getting scored on. You know what is conspicuously absent from this rat team is the Rat Ogre. I believe his Rat Ogre got killed and he wasn't able to replace it.
Or maybe he was going for a full-on dodgy team instead of dashing even.
Interesting, but I feel like that Rat Ogre is invaluable. There's been a couple of occasions where I've played against rats, where the guy who I played against had a Gutter Runner with sprint and +1 movement, and then he would just have, when it's his drive, there's some parts on the field that you can't cover. The Rat Ogre pushes away one of the pieces, and then the plus movement Gutter Runner just runs it in on a single turn.
Actually, I think ILoggiczz made a mistake, but by making a cage around the Bull Centaur. The Bull Centaur alone is well enough equipped to handle all the Gutter Runners. Because the Gutter Runners only have 2 strength. I think he should have taken one of his Chorf warriors to mark the Gutter Runner nearest, because he has also tackle. And then with the Bull Centaur, maybe get an assist on that.
Well, even with tackle, you still have an 83% chance for that gutter runner to dodge away, even without dodge, you know. This is a more conservative approach, but tactically totally sound. Foul, like it. I always approve of a good foul. What's that sound effect? Another KO from a foul. Oof.
And
But a send-off.
Well, but he has a hobgoblin in reserve.
In reserve, yeah.
That's probably why he was fouling all the time, and also because he has this particular hobgoblin has 5 SPP.
You don't get SPP from a foul though.
Well, maybe this heightens the chances of him getting MVP, so that he can go for a rating player or something like that.
Well, as far as I know, the only variable in terms of the way that MVP is handed out is if you have a dead or injured, permanently injured player in your team, it's 100% guaranteed to get given to that player, in my experience.
Actually, if he is really lucky, then Hammered could with the wrestle go to the bull centaur, go for the both down, and wrestle him down to get the ball. If he manages,
if Crunk goes for the red die, which is the large gutter runner, he would at least have. He doesn't even have block advantage, so
no.
Yeah.
This is why the wrestle would be actually good.
And
he goes
here comes the wrestle. Yeah. Come on!
Wow. I mean that's not the result he wanted, but holy cow, that's
not terrible. Yeah. Oh. Well, big time players make big time plays.
I mean, the red just got bonked on the head. If that would have worked, then he would have a good chance to pick the ball up with one of the other gutter runners.
It would have been a 200 IQ play, but the thing is, when you're in this much under a disadvantage, I kind of feel like you have to go for that. I mean, you need something so big in your favor that you have to take that huge chance.
Well, now the next turn will be spent for the Reds just ganging up on one dwarf in particular and trying to kill him.
You know what? I kind of feel like the Reds would actually benefit from like an assassin like the Dark Elves get. It would kind of fit.
Well, technically the gutter runners are assassins.
Yeah, but to have the actual stab ability from the assassin, it would fit. I don't think it would affect the balance too much. I feel like the Rats are pretty underpowered in a lot of aspects. They are completely and utterly overpowered in terms of the ability to run the ball. But everything else, you know, if you had to rate every aspect of their play on a scale of 1 to 10, they would get a 10 for ball running and, you know, below 5 for everything else.
Ooh.
Another injury.
On that note, actually, it would be if you want the Reds having like assassins, then gutter runners with the unique ability to get on doubles, maybe Reaping Blades, which are basically blades infused with Warpstone, which can cause really, really bad reputations or injuries, would be interesting.
Well, wouldn't it be interesting if you could like get a special ability on your gutter runners or on a special unit or something where you can coat your blades with poison, where it affects the dice rolls, or you know, let's say it applies a slow to the player hit for a certain amount of time, like it lowers their movement or something.
That is actually the you play more time yourself. You know how Reaping Blades there work. You could actually make the same
damage over time.
Yeah, you can actually make the same for here in Godfall, but with the caveat that it is the same as in more time, that the Weird Stone, as it's called there, or Warp Stone as you know it, would be volatile to all of them, so that every round it's like, I don't know, if you roll a 1 on your pieces, the effect goes onto yourself because you are yourself exposed to the world.
Yeah, I think of the Rats as being a weaker team. That would be devastating on them. Just retreating now? Yeah, fair enough. 2 turns left. Tackle. Dodge. Looks like a 1.
Mm-hmm. And a reroll, I guess?
No reroll left.
Okay, then it was just calculating. Yeah, it was calculating the knockdown.
I thought perhaps the Exile was looking at an injury animation.
Hmm. Well,
Fuck.
Exile was making a good game so far.
Oh!
Was making a good game so far in scoring, and then holding off the scoring of the Chorfs for at least the end of the half. So if he gets all his knocked out players back and gets a favorable drive,
And this dwarf dies. Nope.
and gets a favorable drive at the beginning, he could actually manage to score again, and maybe, just maybe with enough luck, prevented Chorfs from scoring. But
Man,
all hinges
this
on the waking up.
Once again, this is why I think that Bloodweiser Babes were mandatory.
Well,
The thing is, he would have had to expect it that he'd have a bunch of KO'd people. Crucial, absolutely crucial.
Wow. He just lies in the middle of all the chaos team.
Someone's getting fouled. Oh no, he can't, he has to run it in first. Okay, well done, good equalizer. You know what, for all of our talk about upsets and whatnot, I kind of think we need to see Norse against Chorfs, because one of the two of them is definitely getting through, and you know,
Yeah,
it's...
I mean, the Yeti is the most scary piece for the Chorfs, but the 2 Bull Centaurs and the Minotaur will probably gang up on the Yeti. Okay, he gets 2 of his knockouts back.
Okay, half his knockouts back, but he is still down a fair amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces on the field. 2 players down. It's not too bad, but man, you got 8 turns to get through, starting it with 2 players down.
Well,
Rough,
if
rough.
he is lucky like an Irishman, he can make another touchdown, and maybe ILoggiczz again goes for a misplay with his Chorfs and not covering the gutter runners, but it's unlikely.
We must never forget that the rats can always dunk on you in 2 turns, but the trouble is getting possession. Look at all that guard. Absolutely disgusting. Indeed. Yeah. In the previous drive, that touchback was devastating for the rats. I mean, that being said, it's normally hard for the centaurs to pick the ball up, but we have a centaur here with plus edgy and safe hands, so you would have had 67% chances to pick the ball up.
Well, the Exile has nothing to lose, but everything to gain from his Hail Mary moves.
Absolutely.
While ILoggiczz needs to be careful and needs to win.
Sup, Crystalon? Yeah, the thing is, it's funny you say Hail Mary, because that's something I've been sitting in the back of my mind for a while, making a semi-joke Skaven team focused around diving catch gutter runners and Hail Mary throwers. I've done it once before where it worked, where you dodge all 4 of your gutter runners away, and then you just Hail Mary into that block. It's not perfect, but you know, it can lead to some hilarious touchdowns. I do recall once I scored a touchdown with diving catch almost across the length of the entire pitch. It's incredibly unlikely to work, but when it does work, it's hysterically funny.
Well, the thing with the Minotaur also, with having him having guard while he still be able to go wild animal, is really good. Now the question is if guard is also working on really stupid or bonehead, because
I think it does.
if it's still working, then guard is one of the best options for the big guys. Because even though they can't move or they even lose their tackle zones, they still can assist. With
Okay,
all the
so
blocks.
it's tied to the tackle zone.
So it's only for the wild animals really good.
Which is why whenever there's the what's the worst big guy debuff, or the one that hurts the least, then obviously wild animal is one that hurts the least.
Actually, is there a team? Is there a Kislev team? Yeah, there is a Kislev team, isn't there?
There is, and there's a polar bear that has a prehensile tail. Inexplicably has a prehensile tail.
I mean, Kislev is pretty close to Northgar, and there is all the chaos corruption, so maybe? I mean, we don't know the fauna and flora of the Warhammer fantasy universe.
True.
I mean, they have red people, so.
Well, Jadvanus make another good point there. Getting tentacle on a minotaur is really good. Even if you're wild animals, I mean, you could well make the argument for guard and tentacle. Because even if he's wild animal, he's still using those two skills. A blitz for the rats.
Rats, yeah. He could gang up with 4 pieces on the bull centaur. And pray for something good.
Could happen. Hit him with the 3 strength thrower.
With block, yeah. And stacking his gutter runners to help.
So, look at the ability of the gutter runners. Could they not? They could even contest that ball.
Looking at all the bull centaur, at the bull centaur and the minotaur, I actually also want a beastman team with centigors and the others. I don't remember the name of the small ones. They would also be bash heavy, and basically all of them would have horns. But it would be also an interesting team. Because I would think that most of their pieces would also have wild animal while having high strength and horns.
The thing is that having multiple wild animal pieces makes for an infuriating team. Are we going to see a GFI here?
He could blitz the hobgoblin with 2 of his gutter runners actually.
And his gutter runners then are going to have to deal with centaur war runners. But only the one war runner has block. And neither of those pieces have tackle, so those gutter runners fairly survivable. Looks like he's going to be blitzing the hobgoblin.
Or not. Actually, he wants to try to catch it. Is
Interesting.
Is it his turn after the... No, it isn't his turn.
No, it's Chaos' turn.
If it would be his turn, this would be the 1 turn touchdown. It would be a half turn touchdown.
A half turn touchdown.
And he catches.
So the Chaos lads are in a bit of a sticky situation here. That blitz, as almost always, blitz a devastating kickoff event.
If the Minotaur gets the rats away from the front line with one of the Chaos Dwarfs, 2 of the blockers can actually go to the Gutter Runner.
Hey, Jadvanus, you settle down, mate. He wants the rats to win so badly because the Chorfs are the biggest threat to him.
Now one of the blockers can actually make the way to the Gutter Runner.
Thing is, though, at a bare minimum, if you don't put that gutter runner on his ass, you have to double mark him. Because if he gets...
Ooh.
Oh, reroll.
And what will the reroll result be?
Sidestep. Sidestep is such a good skill. Oh, KO'd, unlucky.
I don't see the reroll yet, so you are somehow in front of me there.
You should be skipping the events quicker. A bit ahead of you. try tick advance.
Yeah,
time.
KO. Yeah, now I'm at the KO.
Okay, I'll pause and count 5 Mississippi. 1 Mississippi.
Well, now
2 Mississippi.
the Minotaur
3
now
Mississippi.
pushes away. And yeah, now we'll wait again. Now the Chorfs are marking the upper gutter on us.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so we have to assume that Minotaur is going to retrieve the ball. What is the mode of attack here? So I'm just going to switch my view to Chaos Dwarves here. So analyze the field with my keen tactical mind.
He picks it up.
He's already on the right hand side there, but he's got to deal with those gutter runners. You just shut up the middle of the pitch. I mean, if he swings all the way left, he's not really going to get away from the gutter runners. You can't get away from them. Too fast.
He doesn't need to. He just needs to get to keep the ball moving. And I don't think that Exile has enough pieces to constantly mark in such a way that he can't dash his way out. And there's a dead rat. The white got wasted.
Woo, you know you did.
Man, brutal. Absolutely brutal. The problem with the rats, they are so brittle.
If Bashful actually gets now another injury or kill, he's going to level up. He's 14 out of 16 SPQ.
Yeah, Viking, this is a very slow game. The Exile is very meticulous and careful with his planning.
Or maybe he is
Uses
lagging
his
like a
full
bitch.
time. Maybe. He's in the UK, I doubt it. He's got good internet.
I mean, I'm in Germany and I'm sometimes having shit internet.
This has been a hell of a long game. It's already 50 minutes and we're halfway through. We're looking at 2 hours here.
Well, not halfway. We are only 5 turns away from the end. Well, okay, never mind. We are 7 turns away from the end.
Yeah.
The white sand blinded
Pretty
me.
much halfway. Although Exile's pieces keep getting knocked out, so his turns will go quicker and quicker. He has less pieces to consider every turn. Let's see, a death, a send-off, an injury, and 3 KOs. I kind of hope that, assuming the Chaos Dwarves go through, I don't want them to play the Norse in the semi-final.
Well, if they go through and they don't go to the north, they will have it in the finals.
Definitely, because the other 2 options, if not the Norse, it's my high elves or Arnar's humans. And again, my team has almost no chance.
Does he reroll? Only a 33% chance? Ah, he actually made it! Holy shit!
Unlucky.
Nah, that was not great. But he made the roll 5 dodge there.
Still, that was his best chance of getting the ball loose there.
And now the Bull Centaur will just run. Run like Forrest Gump.
That lion rat is about to get punched in its face. Owie.
But he isn't out, so if he gets up, he can actually still do something maybe.
Yeah, Judvanus made a good point there. He could actually have cancelled those assists. But then again, the thing is, I get that, but you do have to weigh your options because that would have involved dodging away this gutter runner and moving the other one into contact. So it's not without risks, you know. But under the circumstances, I think you're probably right. If you had to choose between 2 dice rather than 3, it could have made all the difference.
Both down and nothing happens.
Okay, knockdown. So I think for the rest of the semi-final games, we will commentate the replays, not the live game, because the replays will be so much quicker.
Yeah.
It's taking forever. It's been a hell of a game. It's taking forever, though. No, there's no way I'm playing another game after this. It is so late.
Yeah, I think that now it's only a matter of... Okay, another death.
Oh, there we go. You hate to see it. So unlucky.
And that's 6 SPP to level 3 for the Minotaur there.
And a foul on top of the 2 kills.
And the KO.
Chaos.
Yeah.
The Chorfs giving no fucks whatsoever.
Yeah, it's now only an SPP farm for the Chorfs. The only thing that Exile can do is run away with the remaining rats.
Yep.
While the Bull Centaur is just chilling at the end zone and waiting.
You hate to see it. Look at the state of that. 1, 2, 3, 4 KOs, 2 deaths. Again, this just goes to the comment of perhaps could have spent the inducement money better, because with a wandering Apo and some Bloodwiser babes, could have prevented both deaths. Well,
Okay.
woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know, it's easy to sound like a smartass, you know, with hindsight, but man.
I believe everything that ILoggiczz is now going for is the SPP on 2 of his Chorfs that have guard, because they are 6 SPP away from leveling up, and if they get MVP they get only 5.
Yep.
And maybe also on the Minotaur, because also if he gets MVP and gets just 1 SPP more, he can get a level up.
Imagine a level 5 Bull Centaur with plus Edgy. So scary.
Well, for that he would still need to get 9 SPP, so 4 SPP more. That would be the touchdown and maybe an injury.
Yeah. I'm just taking a quick look at the Discord here to see whether the Exile is quite understandably having a bit of a complaint fit. I would also be complaining. The thing is, it's a knockout game though, so you know, maybe just do some goofy shit, but it's heartbreaking for the rats. They did exceptionally well to even make it slightly competitive.
If it wasn't for the major disadvantage, it seems at least at high AD for the Chaos Dwarfs, the Reds would have a pretty good shot at winning this. If this game would have been earlier and not now, maybe, just maybe, they could have won.
The thing is though, the only way Rats are going to win this matchup, basically, I feel like if you're playing Skaven and you're up against Chorfs, the dice have to go in your favor. If it's going to be even, I don't see you winning reliably against Chorfs if the teams are evenly matched. The Chorfs just have too many advantages.
Yeah, I think the earlier and with lower
TV
you go against the Chorfs, the better it is for you.
And also the only other way, if you happen to have a rat ogre, a mutated rat ogre with a claw. But even then, it's only got 8 AV, so the Chorfs would make pretty short work and get that rat ogre off the field. So how much inducement money did Exile actually have? Could he have afforded the Apo, a wizard, and at least a 1 Bloodwiser babe?
I don't actually know how much the Shane Goblin costs.
I'm sure someone can look it up, or Judd Varnus will know offhand. He just knows all this stuff. Well, for my money, I would have gone for Wandering Apo, Bloodwiser babe. And then even spent a bit of money. Well, anyway, the thing is, again, we would be singing a totally different tune if that rat special weapon had, you know, done what it was supposed to do and got a few kills early on. kind of anticlimactic. I will say that the first half has been some of the most exciting Blood Bowl I've ever watched. Sad, sad, bloody Chaos Dwarfs.
Actually, why didn't he blitz there? If he would have blitzed, he could have another shot at the injuring of the Storm Woman to get more SPP on his Chaos Dwarfs.
I think he was just choosing his Chaos Warrior quite carefully. He wants to, or Chaos Dwarf, wants to make sure the right one gets the SPP if he's going to get an injury.
Well, he still has 4 turns, so it doesn't matter.
So which piece is he most likely to injure? I think it's actually the Storm Vermin who doesn't have dodge. All the gut runners have blodge, don't they?
No, the Hammered doesn't have. But he has wrestle, but doesn't have block.
Just a push, not too bad.
And at some point, just 2 steps forward.
Is there any reason whatsoever that ILoggiczz would score quickly? I don't think so.
No.
He would just be giving a chance for the other rats to wake up.
Yeah, maybe to get the lion rats back in front to also.
So he can keep. Yeah, that's true. I've lost track of whose drive it is next. I think this is technically the rats' drive. They lost position of the. No, this was the Chaos Warriors' drive.
But the rats caught it. Yeah.
Yes. So then it would be the rats' drive next. Come on, Storm Vermin. Come on, kill Doc. Dead Chaos Dwarf. No.
No.
Come here, bloody dog. You. Okay. This little dog just looks at me and barks. Growls at me. Annoying little dog. Keeping me up at night, barking. But these are my brother's dogs, these little Yorkshire Terriers. I'm not a fan. They're too small. Look at this. This is too small for a dog. Any dog this size is too small. Any dog that bounces when it barks is too small.
Well, I think now it's time for the punching.
Well, yeah, as opposed to what? it's been punching time for the last few
all
over.
the rats are now in one place, so the Chorfs can really go at it.
And if Bashful gets an injury here, he'll get a level up. 14 of 16 SPP. Gruesome. Well, once again, fair play to the Exile for making the game competitive, at least for the first half. I thought he played exceptionally well in the first half. Well, not that he hasn't played well in the second half, but I mean, it's just that the dice went against him with the injuries and the kills very quickly.
He was going in at a disadvantage and still managed to get at least the hopes up of winning.
I mean, he managed to get a touchdown and threaten a second one, being that far behind. That's true, and Exile had to burn 2 of his 3 rerolls in the first half on ones. Very unlucky. Easy dodge, like it.
And a tackle.
That another one. Dodge. -1.
Roll and doesn't make it.
Ugh.
And now all the Chorfs are standing and all have a rat in arm's reach.
This is gonna get ugly. Well, dodge keeps him safe there.
But tackle.
Oh no, tackle
So dodge is not doing
does not keep him
anything.
safe. Yeah. This is why tackle is such an important skill.
Ooh, 3 die and the force knockdown. Pow. And does the pow do anything? No.
Nope.
Oh, these armor rolls. Ah.
Do the Skaven team need to be tweaked at all? Are they underpowered?
No, not really. I mean, they are one of the only teams that can do a one-turn touchdown.
And I think also in pro play that they've been in finals quite regularly. They are quite popular among the pros as well.
If you actually know how to play with them. I mean, we see it here. The Exile started at a massive disadvantage and still managed to nearly get a win.
I mean, you see it to a lesser extent with the Elves, and I mean, I've been playing a lot of Elves, and I'm starting to finally learn that, like, even in the games that I end up winning, I feel like I'm losing for 14 of the 16 turns. It's just there's 2 single turns where I'm able to pull off, you know, a dodge into a handoff, into a run, into a throw, into a touchdown, and that is quite similar with the Rats as well, but even more so in the extreme. You have to win against the grain, if that makes sense.
The question now is also why Exile is standing up his Rats. I mean, maybe trying to hope against hope to get an injury on one of the Chorfs to make them less viable in the next games. But he is basically just letting the Chorfs now farm SVP off of him. Because the low armor break rolls will not go forever.
Yeah. Oof. But fair play to Exile. I mean, if I had suffered, first of all, the matchup is terrible. Then he got some horrible dice, and now he's just getting his shit kicked in. It's quite understandable if he was ragey, but he doesn't seem to be playing in a certain way that suggests he's raging, so fair play to him. Man, with all of these guys having tackle, this is just gruesome.
The low armor roll continues.
Wrestle doing its job there. So for me, I've as you saw with my Elves, I'm quite happy to take a wrestle now, and I'm liking it. I'm using it and getting to understand when it is and isn't good. But the one thing that I learned quickly with using wrestle is that the lower the armor value of the person using it, it feels more impactful.
And injury.
Another +2 SPP.
Not on the one, not on one of the Chorfs that actually would have benefited the most from it, but it's and now it's just the passing of the turns. Yeah, now he just needs to make the touchdown, and the Red get one last turn of maybe doing.
I was going to say, could you imagine if there was a misclick and he ended his turn without scoring, and then it goes to extra time? I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to seeing the Norse play the Chorfs. I have no idea who I favour in that matchup. It's also easily... Sorry, go on.
I just noticed, why do the Bull Centaurs have socks?
Yeah, we're going to keep their hooves warm. So we've got the 2 strongest teams in the league, and it's the 2 strongest coaches as well, most experienced coaches. So we could be in for a cracking game. Let's hope we don't get a one-sided dicing. I hope we get an even, exciting game. Come on, you don't have to think about this too hard, ILoggiczz. One turn. It's going to be interesting looking at the dice logs after this. I don't think it's going to look like too much of a dicing, but you know, as ever, the rolls that went badly for Exile were the crucial ones. It's not like it's the ones that didn't, matter.
I mean, he took many red die, and the red die were partially really good for him, but the one that mattered was the bad one, so...
The thing is now, I'm starting to notice that my own play is improving a little bit. I'm still terrible, but my play is getting better. And having played those practice games with the High Elves and other Dark Elves, I've thrown red dice, not often, with defense. But the thing is, I feel like I understand that throwing red dice isn't always hopeless. You know, if you have skill advantage, it can actually work out well for you. If the two players were chatting to each other in text, we would have seen it. I would have liked to have seen some smack talk here.
Nah, now the bull centaurs are getting to safety.
Yeah, because we know that they're so fragile with their 9 armor.
I mean, you killed one of my trolls, my only troll, with a huge upset, and he didn't regen, so...
Look, and it was a friendly at least, but then again, when I'm playing against you and your troll is called Stobbie, obviously that's the one piece that's going to die. Kill myself. Our game was interesting, and I think it really typifies the way that High Elves have their games go. That's what I was describing about losing for 14 turns, but still winning the game. So, MVP goes to the dead lineman, because of course, because
no,
Nafal.
1 SPP. He needs... Now the bull centaur is 1 SPP away from being level 5.
That's going to be a level 5 bull centaur in the finals.
Oh, that 13,
must hurt, because others, 15, 21 SPP for the Chorfs. Good lord.
But the other pieces would have benefited more from it, because
yeah,
level 5 is good and nice, but leveling up all the other pieces is also really important.
So I'm just looking at the block dice for the absolutely rat-arsed. They only rolled 3 powers and 6 skulls. And then end result one.
If you look at the D6s, the Snow White and the Chorfs rolled 10 6s and 4 1s. They rolled nearly no D6 rolls, while the Reds rolled over 20 in every single category.
I will also point out that an 85% success rate for going for it is about spot on, but 12 of them, 12 times going for it, worked out for him nicely. Dodge worked nicely. His armor breaks was... his armor did get broken, but wild animal, 87%, that's exactly right as well. So, yeah. Just to wrap up, well played, lads. The first half of that game was some of the most exciting Blood Bowl I've ever seen. Particular shout out, well, first of all, well done to ILoggiczz for making it through to the semi-finals, but shout out to The1Exile for making it competitive and going in huge disadvantage and made a hell of a game of it.
Will be now interesting if the Chorfs and the Norse will meet each other before the finals or at the finals. And I'm also interested in what the new teams will be in the next league.
I am going to validate the match, and then we can see what is the semi-final draw. We can see who's going to play who. Live draw, here we go, day 2. Still showing as TBA. I think it needs time to... I have to confirm the round. Okay, right. Okay, Stobbie's Kahatters. No, I'm facing the Norse. Oh god. Well, that's what we needed. We wanted to make sure that the Chaos weren't fighting the Chorfs.
Well, then you will be hearing much high elf moaning from getting hit.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of in the next game. Oh man. Oh god, I'm not looking forward. I'm trying to get it over with. My high elves are gonna get their absolute shit kicked in. Looking at these teams, my high elf team, I've got 1 Blodge Mighty Blitzer, and then 3 Wrestle. I mean, you never know. I mean, there's a tiny outside chance that I could win it if I get the wrestles that I need, and a Centaur goes for it and kills itself. I don't know. Sorry, Jed Varnus, that's going to be rough. Anyway. Friends, for those of you watching on YouTube, 1 hour and 14 minutes, thanks for sticking it out. And yeah, good luck to all the teams in the semi-finals.
Good luck to you surviving that.
Oh, Jesus.